Hello, hello, ladies. Happy Friday. This is Daniella Bloom coming to you live from Los Angeles. Welcome to a second episode of Good Wife Gone Wild. Welcome to your next chapter. Actually, I'm toying with two titles. Feel free to weigh in. Good Wife Gone Wild or Single Mom Uncensored. Tell me which ones you like. I would really appreciate it. Okay. Such another incredible, amazing week. So much to get to. Based on the feedback from last week's episode, a lot of you liked the men stuff. You really appreciated my candidness, my openness, my tips, and that's fantastic because I have so many, and every week is a new week, and there's just so much content to share. I like to think of myself as the mommy's Carrie Bradshaw, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm so glad you think so too, and you want more. So that is great feedback. Thank you so much for joining me, Jamie and Beth. It's so great to see you here. Okay, so this week's theme is going to be, what did I call it? Joy, alignment, and you only live once. Okay, so let me get into it. Last week at a July 4th party, I was at this event where there happened to be a rabbi there at the July 4th party at this gorgeous mansion in Long Beach. And he was reading what the meaning of our Hebrew birthday means. As Jewish people, we go by a lunar calendar. So your Hebrew birthday is different than your secular calendar birthday, and it can have a different meaning. And he basically told me, once he got my birth date and the year and everything, like, wow, this is really incredible. This is so rare. And I said, what? What's so rare? And he said, you're born in the Jewish leap year, which only comes every 19 years. And the only holiday that's celebrated twice in this year is the holiday of Purim, which is the holiday of joy. And you're born in those 60 days of joy, meaning your essence is joy. And then he went on to say, you're meant to influence generations, even down to grandchildren, which gave me further confirmation that it's okay to have these big dreams of wanting to be on television and having a great platform to influence and uplift people. But as soon as he said that my true essence is joy, something shifted in me. Like, really? We only have this life. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't have to keep apologizing and minimizing what our blessings are just because there's shit happening in other areas, because we all have shit happening in areas, because that perpetuates expansion and growth. And it just really rang true for me that I could literally shift my energy onto my essence, which is joy, and on things that are bringing me joy. And it is a conscious choice. It's really easy to get stuck in the stuff you want to improve on. And we want to improve on things because it's how we grow and expand. But if we give too much weight to the areas that are not perfect, we forget the big picture. And there has been a shift in me since that. I have just been really, really aware of what my blessings are right now in this moment. And not being able to control the other things like finalizing my divorce or my relationship with my sister or whatever doesn't have the comparison to what is working now. So I encourage you also to just be a lot more aware of what is already working, what brings you joy, and just truly enjoy it. And don't let people judge you for enjoying what you have. Life is hard enough. It's supposed to be enjoyable too. So that's the first thing I want to talk to you about, is just owning and appreciating and receiving the joy that we already have in our life and not apologizing for it. Just enjoying it, okay? Now, everyone knows not only am I a psychotherapist, but I'm a law of attraction coach. Let me tell you the funnest story that just manifested for me this week. Now, the key to manifesting miracles really quickly, and this has shown up in my life again and again, is when you want something to manifest, to not have too much attachment to it. Want it just barely, but with zero resistance. If you want something because you need it or because there's fear behind it, that's a mixed message you're sending to the universe. So let me give you an example of what I was able to manifest. Such a fun story because I had zero attachment to it and I put it out to the universe. Wouldn't it be nice? Okay? I was talking to my friend and colleague, Isla, who many of you know. She's an amazing lady in her own right. And I was saying to her, Isla, I just need an in at a fancy Beverly Hills or Hollywood salon where all of the wealthy divorcees go to and all the celebrities go to, because the hairdressers are entrusted. You have someone in your seat. You're telling these hairdressers your life story. They're like second to therapists. And if you are referred to by your hairdresser, you're going to trust a reference, right? I kid you not, within 3 days of me declaring that, okay, I get a call from a good friend of mine who's an amazing author, an inspirational speaker on her own, Kimberly King, which I hope is watching this video. I'm going to tag her in it. And she reaches out to me and she goes, and she's in Connecticut, people, in Connecticut, across the country. She's like, I need you to meet my friend Lori. I've told her so much about you. She's also been through a divorce. She's in your similar line of work. You guys should totally connect while you're here. And I say, of course we will. Any friend of yours is a friend of mine. And then she writes, oh, by the way, her nephew works at one of the high-end salons where all the celebrities go. I think she said the word famous people go. Maybe you've heard of it, Chaz Dean. I'm like, of course I've heard of Chaz Dean. Who hasn't? He's the guy who brought us the Win hairline, and he's also a fixture on Jeff Lewis's show Flipping Out, and he's a very successful hairdresser, salon owner, entrepreneur. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So it just so happens that on Wednesday, Lori and I connected. She's amazing, really, really inspiring with how I think she has manifested the fastest divorce known in history. I mean, granted, laws in Connecticut are different than California, but it basically happened over a weekend because, ladies, she had leverage and she wasn't afraid to use it. Things I wish I knew then that I wish I knew now. Anyway, maybe we'll get her on here and she'll share a little bit about her story. So Lori and I met, and true to her word, this salon in West Hollywood is gorgeous. It's like an oasis. You have the beautiful sitting area. Everything's manicured. There's a water feature. You have coffee. It's really an escape in itself. And her nephew, Ben, did my hair. He said, that's a beautiful job. The products are amazing. And it was perfect because it just so happens that I was invited to go on another date. I know I'm dating all the time. It's crazy. But it really is. I have my kids 80% of the time, so it's really not as much as you think, but I just fit it into my schedule. So Wednesdays are the days I don't have my kids. When I don't have a group, I have free time off. So it just so happens it all worked out. So this guy from Orange County, which is about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from the Valley, reached out to me. And he didn't just reach out to me, he researched me, which I think is so flattering in the sense that he didn't just find out what I did for a living, but he actually watched some of my videos and my podcasts. I mean, he was quoting my taglines back to me, like, so you're living your 20s and your 40s. I think that's great. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy pays attention. But this is just a funny side story to that. He asked me when my weekends were free next. And I said, well, it was supposed to be this weekend, but my ex is out of town again. And he said these words, and those of you who are been in this group for a while have probably seen this video and know what I'm referring to. But he actually said these words: "Oh, is he going to China again?" So those of you who know what I'm talking about, please put an emoji. So those of you who don't, back in October, I put a Facebook Live in the middle of the night when I discovered that my ex was not in New York at a business conference for medical business conference. He was actually with his girlfriend and in-laws in fucking China. So how this guy knew about a private video I posted here started to kind of freak me out a little bit. But it turns out he didn't watch the video. I must have mentioned it in a podcast that I was invited to, and that's how he heard it. But again, these videos are meant to be closed and private. I don't think they can be shared, but I need to know that I have an outlet to speak candidly, but that it's also very separate from people who are not invited to see this information. So anyway, that was crazy when he said, he's not in China again, is he? Crazy. So he was willing to drive all the way from Orange County to Northridge, not even Encino, but to Northridge to take me to dinner. But because I was getting my hair in Hollywood, I made it easy on him. At least we'll meet in Hollywood. And he picked a really fun, trendy restaurant called Connie and Ted's. And it was a great date. And ladies, he drove me all the way home because I was staying at my parents' house that night in Encino in his Tesla. I've never been in a Tesla. Okay, I'm not a flashy girl, and I don't like, name brands are not like, I don't flaunt anything. Like, that's not the girl I am. But ladies, you can't ignore what a turn on it is to be in a really nice Tesla. I mean, it's like driving in the future. I mean, he had this huge, like, iPad size navigation system. It was amazing. So he's definitely the wealthiest guy I've dated so far, and really, really charming, and it's a lot of fun. Our Israeli friend last week, who I told you we just had the special weekend together, he's back in Israel, but we do continue to text and send video messages, and it's just fun to have a boyfriend in your pocket across the country. I mean, it's an ego boost, and it's safe because it's in totally your control. You can want more of it or less of it, and unapologetically, this is where I'm at, people. I'm a little bit boy crazy right now, and I'm okay with it. I was never like this before. Even when I dated in high school, I had one serious boyfriend, and then I didn't date until I met my husband because I was all about straight shooting, marriage. Now, marriage is far from my mind, and it's about high quality experiences where I feel alive, cherished, and amazing, and that is what is showing up for me. And if you are inspired to have this for yourself, just call me. It's my favorite thing to do. Okay, so that was that on my date on Wednesday, which I'm likely going to see him again on tomorrow night. Tonight I have a date with an attorney. I hate attorneys. He knows I hate attorneys, but he's an employment law attorney. So I think because he's employment law and not family law, it's okay. And he picked a really trendy place in Studio City that I've never been to. So I'm just receiving it, letting myself be taken out unapologetically. Okay. What else did I want to tell you guys? Okay. So I recently learned another definition for faith that I really wanted to share with you guys. No matter what your religion is or whether or not you believe in God, faith really has to do with alignment. Not like just, I just have faith that God will take care of it. God wants you to take care of it, or whoever you want to call God. When you are in alignment with something, it really is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I mean, when Jesus talked about having faith to heal, it's because he had such an alignment to see people in their wellness. That is what started to show up for them. So things obviously flow really easily for me when I'm in alignment. I mean, case in point, this amazing example at Chaz Dean. But I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, I'm like, why is my divorce still not finished? I mean, we can go into, the family court system, attorneys, my high conflict ex, all those things are true, right? But what is my responsibility, and what am I doing that's not bringing me into alignment in this divorce? And that really caused me to reflect on some things, and some interesting things have come up for me. And if you are curious, maybe I'll do a different Facebook Live about it, or you can reach out to me directly. But once I got clear on what my own mixed messages were, I felt a release. I felt energy moving again. So that was really big insight for me. And it goes back to the idea of life is too short. And if you want to manifest something, then get out of your own way. And really appreciate and enjoy those blessings, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, we see these cliches all the time with the movies we watch, the religion. Life is too short. We only have this life. Make the most of this life. I never knew this could happen to me. So let's remind ourselves of that this is our opportunity to live our best life ever unapologetically. Maybe people think we shouldn't be so happy because of A, B, and C going on, or we should be this way, or we should be that way, or we should feel this, or we should do that. It's our life. And when we start letting go of what other people think we should or we shouldn't doing and living our best life, we are raising our level of vibration where our confidence is risen, and we actually make better choices in every area because we're navigating our own lives again, and people respond to that. Our light becomes brighter. So, yeah, and I just wanted to say I have, I work with men and women, specifically with dating and relating optimization. And I had this one male client today, and he's really interested in this girl who basically told him 4 weeks ago, look, I'm dating somebody else. I don't feel comfortable dating two guys at once. I just had to be honest. And he took it as such rejection, and he was really angry at her. And I'm like, but she's being forthcoming. First of all, if I were her, I would have no problem dating two guys at once. But she's in a very different place than I am. She's looking for marriage and children, and that's what works for her. And I said to him, how long has it been? And he said 4 weeks. And I said, okay, great. Get out the phone. It's time to wish her Shabbat Shalom. How have you been? He's like, I can't do that. What about my dignity? Like, she chose another guy over me. I can't reach out to her. And I said, I'll use a different name, Tom. You only live once. You're letting your ego get in the way of this, you know? And he's like, well, she should just contact me. If it didn't work out with this guy, she should contact me. And I'm like, now you're being petty. First of all, a woman wants to be pursued. You need to pursue her. All I'm saying is reach out to her. And literally we went back and forth on this for 15 minutes to the point where I had to do it for him, basically. So, we basically wrote, I'll change her name too. Hi, Brittany. Happy Friday. How have you been? This was making him sweat. Literally making him sweat. And I said, wait, you cannot send it in this. I made him send it. I said, you have to send it in the energy of the empowered masculine. Like you are pursuing her. And, don't send it in the energy of, oh my gosh, she's going to reject me. She's going to reject me. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Well, case in point, I took a few deep breaths. He sent it to her. Within 5 minutes, okay? Within 5 minutes, she replied to him and said, oh my gosh, Tom, it's so great to hear from you. By the way, if you still want to take me out, I would love it. And he nearly fainted, okay? He would never have sent this text if he didn't have a coach like me pushing him out of his comfort zone and getting out of his own way, getting out of his own head. And now he has a date with one of the girls he's been obsessing about in the last month, this weekend. You only live once. What risks are you not taking? The happiest people, the most successful people are not the people who play it safe, but the people who take risks, okay? So these are my messages for today. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Farah. Hi, Marcy, Kimberly, Anna. It is Tracy. It is so good to see you guys all here. How are you doing? What are your plans for the weekend? And again, I appreciate the feedback. What stood out to you in this podcast that you really liked? Also the title, Good Wife Gone Wild, Single Mom Uncensored. What works for you? And, just a few more tidbits. I was told by BJ, who's also in this group, isn't it ironic or funny or like a cruel trick of the universe that attorneys send their invoices right before a hot date or right on Friday evenings before the weekend? I mean, so annoying, right? So just, I love that I have a place to just bring all of my inspiration to, stuff that is from all different areas that I can bring to you, that hopefully can make you laugh, can give you resources, and remind you that we're all human. We're all in this together. We have flow in some areas. We're stuck in others. And when we connect and relate in our vulnerability, it actually strengthens the whole community. And we can drop the facade and share what's real. So with that said, it is never too late to bloom where you're planted. Thank you so much for tuning in again to the second episode of Good Wife Gone Wild, the beta. And I have a men's group coming up. I think I'm going to make it all men for this Wednesday. But the Wednesday after, Wednesday, July 31st, will be women's only again. And we are postponing the second Sunday brunch for this Sunday to make it a 2-day retreat event in October. So mark your calendars for the second weekend in October. It's going to be amazing. With that said, enjoy your Friday and remember to be unapologetic in the receiving of the joy that you have right now. Life is too short. Take care.